Hi everybody, this is Stephanie with Lady Prepared. Welcome back. Today we are going to have a little adventure, and this adventure includes making our own pizza sauce. Okay friends, the first thing we're going to do is open up our two number 10 cans here, and then we're going to pour them into our cooking pan. After that, we're going to start adding all of our other ingredients that's going to help cook and give it a really rich, robust flavor. Okay, we are finishing up by adding our second number 10 can into this. And had I thought about this last night and did a little bit better planning, I could have added this to my electric roaster and had it going all night long, so that way I didn't have to sit here and wait. But it's actually going to be okay because I have a couple different projects today that I want to get handled. So while we wait for this to go in the oven in a few minutes, we'll be doing other stuff. Okay friends, we're going to start by adding some of our flavor in here. I'm going to add some homemade apple cider vinegar. This is not going to take the place of the vinegar that you need to add for canning, but it is going to help with some of the rich flavor that I want to come out in this recipe. Next, we're going to take the remainder of our garden freeze-dried onions and sprinkle the rest of them in here. So sad to see these go. They had such a great flavor. I can't wait till we get our garden going and we can get some more in this pantry. I'm going to do a little bit of a sprinkle of ranch dressing, just a little. Italian seasoning, and I'm going to be pretty generous with the Italian seasoning because this is a pretty big container. Next, I'm going to add some strawberry leaves from our garden. Strawberry leaves have a ton of vitamin C, calcium, and iron. I freeze-dried some of our fresh leaves from the garden last spring, and I'm just going to go ahead and crumple some in there so we can get the benefits in our pizza sauce. And I'm just going to get them smashed up pretty good. We're going to be taking an immersion blender to this afterwards, so I'm not too concerned if there's big chunks right now. I kind of treat it like a bay leaf. If there's anything big that's left afterwards, we'll take it out, but again, the immersion blender is probably going to get anything else that I don't get. Then lastly, I have some carrot tops. Carrot tops give such an amazing flavor to anything that you cook. I actually prefer using it over parsley, just again because of the huge flavor impact that it gives to my recipes. And again, those carrot tops came from my garden, so I know exactly where they came from, how they grew, what went into the soil, and I can say with all assuredness that they were organic, because we do not use any kind of chemical sprays on our garden. We do everything holistically and naturally, even fighting those pesky bugs, which kind of get on my nerves, but not much you can do. It goes with having a garden. Okay, another slight adjustment. I've decided I'm going to go ahead and add some garlic in here. So I'm going to throw that garlic in and get it all stirred up. Okay friends, now that our sauce is all mixed up, I'm just going to bring you in close so you can take a look at that delicious goodness. Our next step is that we're going to be putting this in the oven at 375, and we're going to be reducing it down until it's nice and thick. Once that happens, I'm going to bring you back and we will start the next phase. See you then. Here we go friends, look at this. After about 4 hours of being in the oven, we can see this nice thick consistency. And I don't even think I'm going to have to run my immersion blender through this because everything seems to have been broken up. There's no overly large chunks in here. So I think we are going to prepare for our canning. And we've got our jars all hot, washed, ready to go over here. Our water steamer. So if you have not seen a steamer, this is amazing. This is in place of a water bath. It typically takes about 1/3 of the time, way less water, and the cook is just amazing. I've never had any kind of problem with canning this way. So I'm excited to show you what we're going to be doing from here on out. Let's go. Okay friends, we're gonna get started with the process of getting these canned up. We're gonna start with our bottled lemon juice. You wanna make sure that you have bottled lemon juice because we are guaranteeing the 5% acidity needed to safely be able to water bath these jars. Some people have their own lemon juice, which is so amazing and so great, but unless you pH test stripped it, you really don't know if it's for sure that 5%. So we're gonna go ahead and use some lemon juice purchased from Costco. Because these are little half pint jars, we're gonna be using half of a teaspoon of lemon juice in each jar. Okay, now before we get it all stirred up one more time, before we start putting it in the jars, I have some homegrown basil and oregano that I went ahead and chopped up. I'm just gonna add this right into our batch here. We're gonna get this all stirred up. I like to have some fresh basil in my pizza sauce, so I'm going to make sure that I get this in here and get it stirred up so that way we can have some of that freshness in when we pop open our jars. Okay friends, we're all ready to start getting our delicious pizza sauce ladled up. I'm going to leave about, I guess close to 1 inch of head space. That way I make sure that we do not have anything overfilled, which will of course hopefully keep us from siphoning this delicious sauce out. So I'm gonna get these jars filled up real quick and I will bring you back for the next step. All right friends, so our next step now is I'm gonna take a non-usable chopstick and I'm just gonna go ahead and debubble this. I'm gonna go through and do that for all of them. That way we can get those bubbles out and we can kind of see the product settle and see if anything needs to be taken out, if it needs to be refilled. A couple of these look like they're a little bit above that 1 inch headspace that I'm going for, so I probably will be taking some of them out and adjusting. Another good thing about this too is remember we put that lemon juice at the bottom. I'm making sure that we get this lemon juice all mixed up. Okay friends, we're just finishing up writing the date and putting the product name on the lids now. I am really bad about doing this, and my poor husband Chris will go to look for something and he's like, I have no idea because nothing is labeled. So I went ahead and I'm labeling them. Sometimes I do this before I put it in the canner, just because if I don't think that I'm gonna be here when it's time to wash them up and put the labels on, I would just rather do it so there's no confusion in the house, because Chris has done that sometime and he's put the wrong label on it, so it's a reminder for me. Sometimes I have to touch them up afterwards, but for the most part they're just fine. Now I'm going to show you what our steamer looks like. All right friends, we can see the top here. It's ready because that red line is in the green. It's in all 3 green sections, so altitude, it's good for all of them. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take the lid off. Let me show you what this looks like in here. Okay, we just took that lid off and we're gonna load that up. The water is down below there, and once it's in there, we're gonna put the lid back on. We're gonna steam it just for the same amount of time that we would for a water bath, and then it'll be done. And I'll bring you right back. Friends, this is what it looks like when it's loaded. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 10 pint-sized jars. Now we're just going to put the lid on. We want to make sure that it's all the way sealed down here. Again, it's ready to go. And so we're going to go ahead and set our timer for 35 minutes. 35 minutes is over, so I'm just going to go ahead and turn our stove off, and then for the next few minutes I am just going to let this sit. I like to just take the lid and move it back just a little bit so we can start getting some air in there, but not too much air that can cause some issues. This is actually really important because it's pretty cold right now, and I don't want the temperature differences to cause any issues with our jars. And here we go, friends. We have our first 10 coming right out of the steamer, and we have our next 9 going in. So what an amazing adventure we had today with canning. We were able to take 2 number 10 cans of tomato sauce and make them into some delicious pizza sauce. So I think that's just an absolute win for everybody. And we have 10 little jelly jars, half pint sized jars that have come out, and they're doing amazing, popping away, and our next 9 are ready to go. And after that, we will hopefully have 19 jars of tomato sauce used from 2 number 10 cans that absolutely had to be used up. So just such a win. I'm so excited to have done this with you today. Thanks for hanging out with me and spending Saturday with me, and I hope you are having a wonderful weekend. I hope that you are very blessed, and I hope that you are able to go out and bless the lives of others around you. I look forward to our next video together, and family, you take care. Talk to you soon. Bye.